Thank you once again for all your comments, some which I thought were very interesting today. I must say I was very shocked last night to receive a number of comments from people who then withdrew them and who've been using my image as an avatar for themselves. One of them in particular told me that they hoped I would go to sleep and not wake up, which was a little shocking, so I'm happy to have defied them. Edward Thompson, who also uses my image for some strange reason, says, if he didn't have trolls, he wouldn't have viewers. He wouldn't have commentators. All he's got is trolls and a predilection for the male appendage, which I find an extraordinary suggestion. I have no idea where he gets this idea from, but there we are. Arthur Pint, unfortunately we live in a world where more and more of those who seek power in some form or other, but know that they cannot achieve it through peaceful means, will resort to violence and then lie about their actions and those of others. And now it would seem, Tim, that as a public figure you've apparently become a soft target for trolls, yeah? I'm not sure what I can say to you, other than that I hope that you feel better soon and take comfort in the fact that, I've now got to do a read more. Well, I'm delighted to read more. The fact that the size of your open-minded followers dwarfs the lunatic fringe, who regrettably seem to turn up everywhere. And then Arthur says there are 4 reasons why Mr. Putin is attacking Lviv. Firstly, it's to show that he can hit anywhere he wants in Ukraine. I think you're right. Secondly, a lot of Western armaments probably pass through Lviv, as it's the nearest big Ukrainian city to Poland. That's also, I think, reasonable. Third, it's a way of sending out a warning to NATO forces in Poland. And finally, it's to unsettle Poland itself. Yes, but it also demonstrably makes clear that Putin's annexation of the 4 areas in Ukraine is not what he's interested in. I think this is partly a desire to defend the idea that this is a war in response to NATO aggression. It's a lie, but it's an attempt to convince the domestic audience in Russia that this lie is true. And I think we're going to see a lot more effort over the year. Should this conflict continue, which I think would be rather sad, but there'll be a lot more effort over the year to try and defend that lie. Now, while we're on that subject, one person has very kindly given me a list of, if I can find it, there's a lot of comments to go through. Maybe I can't find it, oh dear. He's given me a list of those pro-Russian websites who put out a different view to the one that I'm giving, who put out a more pro-Russian or Russian minority in Ukraine view. I'm afraid I know a lot of these. The Duran, Colonel Douglas MacGregor, the New Atlas, Scott Ritter, Garland Nixon, Alex Christoforou, not, I think, Greek, Alexander Mercouris, also not Greek, X12 Smoothie, History Legends, The Dive, the John Dore Show, and The Grey Zone. Now, I'm particularly interested in Alex Christoforou and Alexander Mercouris, because I have I've been stalked by one particular troll who claims also who's also adopted a Greek name, Larissa Kyriakides, and clearly is not Greek, and clearly is not Larissa, who is an identifiable individual. These people take over names, and I fear that a Russian taking over a Greek name is possibly an easier option. And as I say, I've listened to many of these YouTube sources, and all of them seem to be in hoc to Russian propaganda and are themselves, therefore, Russian propagandists. If you want sources, there are sources. You may need slightly more access to Russian language to get these sources, but there are underground Russian sources that are very, very up to date and informed. There's also Ukrainian sources. Again, language may be an issue, but the BBC should have access to both of these, and I am sometimes slightly shocked by the sparsity of information that is coming out of the BBC. So I would once again stand up to the charge that I am dependent on Western mainstream media, MSM. Look, I'm getting up to date with the acronyms. It took me a long time to work out what MSM was. I thought it was something to do with mathematics, but there we are. Thank you. Anyway, thank you very much for all your comments. Much appreciated.